Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel where we talk about murders and play video games loosely tied to the murders. My name is Nelson and I'm here with my beautiful wife Nikki. How are you doing today?
I'm doing a-okay. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm good.
That's
Okay,
good.
so I just had to point this out because I was trying to shoot the basket and trying to do all this stuff, and apparently I had to pick this up, which makes no sense, and you have to throw it. And then when you throw it, this thing falls. I spent the whole last 5 minutes of the last episode trying to figure that out. And we're starting from here, so
I have something to say.
okay, say it.
Okay, if you want to catch up on where we were in the series, we are going to start trying to add links in the description below. And if we
Yes.
were successful, you will see it.
Yes.
But if we were not successful, you can see our previous videos on our channel.
Wait, what do you mean successful?
I believe in you. You're going to succeed. It will be there. It's
Yeah,
there. It's there as we speak in the future. And now time is relative.
we'll see.
Okay. And I have another thing to say.
Okay.
That this is the first time when we're recording that we have likes and subscribers.
Yes. Thank you all.
Yay. I'm clapping.
There will be millions more to come soon, and we love every single one of you.
Yes, we thank you very much for your support. If you like our content, please continue to like and subscribe if you're not, so we know you like it and we can keep going. Yeah, that was my second thing.
Okay. So where were we at the end of part 4?
Gyno things?
Yes. I know things. I forgot about that already.
Nobody forgot about that. Okay. Oh, wait. The book. We are reading out of American Demon, Elliot Ness and the Hunt for America's Jack the Ripper by Daniel Stashower. And is this our fifth?
Number 5.
Okay. Number 5. So last episode, we found 2 victims and we were going over the colorful history of the younger victim, the handsome man known as Andrassi. Andrew Andrassi. Yes. So pretty much we were just going to finish up with that, and there are theories. The press offered its readers a tidy recap of the gruesome double murder mystery. They put an image of Andrassi at the top, which, this is weird, with the photos of the 2 boys who discovered his body.
Yes.
I think it's weird. And then here's their several clues, spelt C-L-E-W-S, clue.
They spelled it that way on purpose?
They did.
Okay.
Makes me think of your Luke. Okay, so that, in all capitals, the bodies of the 2 victims were taken to the foot of the hill known as Jackass Hill after the murders had been committed elsewhere. Okay, so that's theory number 1. Also, that the victims knew each other and were killed by the same person. That the unidentified victim was killed first and his body immersed in some sort of fluid until the murderer could trap Andrassi, who, according to coroner A.J. Pierce, was killed a week later. That both men first were beheaded, then stripped of their clothing, after which they were further... I never know what words we can use and not use. It's not the first minute, right? Isn't that what's important? Mutilated?
I think that's fine. That seems like a very scientific word.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out as we go. That each victim, after his hands were tied, was executed with some sharp instrument, probably an axe or butcher knife. So, many readers would be confused by this. One of the more, I guess, strange of theories is that the killer preserved the body of the older man to trap Andrasi. There's a lot of gaps
What do you mean
if
to trap him?
to lure him in.
Yeah, I put a bikini on him or something?
I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. I don't know. Also, they said that the two victims had been killed elsewhere and taken to the foot of the hill. So that sounds like pretty like straightforward, right? Like someone killed them, brought them there. But how did they transport it there?
Yeah, because didn't you say in the last one there wasn't a lot of blood?
Yeah, there is no blood anywhere. And then they were at the bottom of like it's called a hill, but it's more kind of like a cliff sort of. And you have to climb down.
You can't get to it through any other way than climbing down?
No, you have to climb down. Like remember like Shark Tooth Cove? Is it Shark Fin
That's
or Shark Tooth? Like the cove where you have to like crawl down, it's like that. And there's just like,
yeah, that makes it a lot more interesting.
so how would one man, I don't know, they how does that work? Someone can drive a car to the top of the hill, but then they have to get the bodies down. It's a 60-foot incline.
Wow, that is no joke.
There was no like drag marks. There's no tracks from a cart or a wheelbarrow. And then also we have to consider that he did all of this in darkness to not be seen.
So there was were there tire tracks?
No,
So there was absolutely nothing.
no, nothing of note. Nope. But I mean, if the process had been carried out at dark, the investigators were saying, which makes sense, that, and that was a lot of work to do, it could explain why the remains were not particularly well hidden. Because it was like, okay, this is the best I can do. I've got him down here.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe,
yeah, he'd probably be exhausted.
yeah, maybe he'd been interrupted. Maybe he intended to burn the remains and clothing using the pail of oil found at the scene.
It's just tough for me because here he was orchestrating everything. And he would seem like the last person that was pressed. It seems like he had a plan for everything. So it seems a little far-fetched that all of a sudden he wouldn't know what he was doing. That's at least how I feel because what was it like a year between bodies? So
A year and like a week, I think, a week or two.
so
A
it
week,
has a
actually.
feeling of I know what I'm doing and almost like what was that guy that left all the clues? Zodiac.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was cat and mouse. Yeah.
Speaking of cat and mouse, I am just wandering aimlessly,
I
trying.
didn't look. I'm sorry. I was looking at
Yeah,
the book and looking at you. I wasn't looking at the game.
you don't want to look. This is really bad. There are certain areas where it is very difficult to talk and play.
I've been telling you, got to get good.
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
I got to correct myself. I messed up. Edward Andrassi. At the beginning of the episode, I said Andrew Andrassi. Yeah. So let's see. The other theory was that Edward Andrassi just accidentally interrupted the killer when
And so
he
he took
was.
him out.
Yes. Yep. And then another theory was that he might have been complicit in the earlier murder. And then the unknown killer made him carry the other body down the incline. And then he took him out once he was down there.
That is cold.
Like he had him do his, you know, heavy lifting and dirty work.
What were the differences in weight between the two? Like, would it have been feasible for one of the victims to carry the other? Because didn't you
Ooh,
say
that's a
there
good
was one that
question.
was older?
Yes, the unidentified man was older. Let's see. I have to go and thumb back. Do I don't know if I'm gonna take a lot of time going backwards trying to find that. Let me see. If I can't find it in a second here, we'll move on and then I'll answer that later. Okay. Our Edward Andrassy was about 150 pounds. And the other fellow was about 165. He was about 5'6", 165.
Yeah,
So
that
he
seems
was bigger.
small. Well, I mean, to climb down a cliff holding someone that is dead or alive? Dead, we think?
Way dead.
Okay.
Super dead.
So, yeah, I guess, but how does that work? Does he like have a gun to him and, oh, I'll let you survive
And
if you
then
bring this body down?
all the blood's missing and there was no spatter or anything all around the area.
Ooh, did one of the bodies, oh, I messed up. Oh, no, I didn't. Did one of the bodies have the blood of the other one?
No.
Oh, I thought it was onto something.
Nope. Super pale white, exsanguinated. I believe that's the exsanguination. So, yep. So, through the end of September, kind of died down. There was some other things going on in history at the time. We had the match between Joe Louis
Oh, yes.
and Max Baer. Is that how we pronounce him?
I
The
think
Brown
so.
Bomber in Yankee Stadium.
Bronze bomber.
Well, Brown Bomber.
Oh,
Now we
yeah.
have the Bronze Bomber.
That's right. Brown bomber.
Uh-huh. You taught me. And then we also had the potential breakup of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Oh, that's the dancing dude.
Yep. And Lady. A calamity akin to homicide on Santa Claus, they said.
What?
Yep. So now in Chicago, a bank robber named Alvin Karpis, who's now enemy number one since Al Capone is gone.
Alvin Karpis.
Yeah.
It is impossible to be a criminal that is successful with a name like Alvin.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
If you're one of the chipmunks, I don't know. So that's kind of it. The more, these headlines came in and all the promising leads went cold, no arrests, and it kind of went the same way as the lady. At this point, they don't know they're connected, but kind of went the same way. So that's where we are with the two gentlemen found a year later. Yeah.
And at this point, Elliot is just kind of walking around like, I don't know what to do with my life anymore.
I was going to get to that actually.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've got an update on our friend Elliot Ness, but I thought we would, before we transition to that, there's a few questions that have come up, and I've been like, yeah, well, look that up and we'll answer it. And I didn't. I was a liar, and I don't want to be a liar. So I was thinking maybe since I looked these up, we could share them before we go on.
Yes. And if anyone had any questions or anything they wanted for us to elaborate on, you could just leave a comment on what that is, and we will answer that or expound on that in the next episode or two, depending on timing. So, because we
Absolutely.
want to make sure you understand everything that is happening with the case.
One of the fun things is, our back and forth, and Nelson asked me questions, and I don't know. So going and looking them up brings up a lot more information. Like I would have never known about the Potter's Field. So yeah, feel free. Drop questions and comments and school us in the comments. So without further ado, the question you had asked when we were first learning about Elliot was what sort of detective novels would he have read when he was a boy?
Yes.
Yep. And we were thinking, oh, the Hardy Boys. And I looked that up and they were too late
Oh, okay.
because the publication for them started in 1927. And he would have been, reading those novels in the earlier than that. So,
So
and
almost a decade or a century old.
yeah, yeah, actually, in a year.
Wow.
But I did look up the ones that were running. So from 1909 to 1918, there was like a series, this fictional kid detective, well, the boy detective, Nick Carter. And there was a bunch of different authors that would write under the same synonym, and a lot of books came out for Nick Carter. I guess sort of like the future Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew kind of thing. And then in 1909, Edward Stratemeyer wrote a series called The Rover Boys, Tom Swift, and there were a multitude of other cheap dime novels because it was a interest at the time.
When was Dick Tracy?
Oh, you gave me another
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry. Okay. No, I just, yeah, rhetorical. Rhetorical.
Okay. Let's look up. We'll look up Dick Tracy. Okay.
And were these comic books or like young adult or just flat out
Books.
novels?
Yep, they were novels. Yep. The other question you had asked me when I said Elliot Ness had a brief job dipping radiators. Like,
Yes.
what the heck does that even mean? So, before we just, we're like today where we take something out and trash it, radiators would be removed because they would get like a lot of buildup on them. And they would remove it and dip it in caustic, acidic substances to help remove buildup and clean them off and do any fixing that needed and put it back in.
Feels ancient. I had to replace a radiator in a I think it was a Bronco or something I forget. But yeah, it was like $200. So it's crazy to me to think that they were cheap enough to where it was worth fixing instead of just buying, which that's all we do now is just buy. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, watch repairmen and furniture repair. Most people just buy.
Yeah, it's kind of just the way we operate. Like, even just a simple thing like a vacuum. If your vacuum breaks, a lot of the time it's like, I'm going to toss it and get a new one, a better one. But, if you clean it out and look in there, the belt could be like, have burnt up, and you can get two belts for $7. Save yourself a lot of money.
Or you can get 100 vacuums for like $5 on Temu.
And replace them all within a year.
Yeah. Are we allowed to say? Yeah, we're allowed to say Temu.
I think we're allowed to say demon. Just don't say it 3 times in the mirror.
Yeah, I don't want the Temu. Okay, whoever's watching this, I don't want you to contact Temu and tell them that I'm talking about them.
Not sponsored by Temu.
Absolutely not. But we could be talked into it.
No,
Okay.
not at any
Maybe.
price.
Yeah.
Nope. All right. Next question. You had asked me, how did the ordinary man get his prohibited alcohol? Like, not the kind of people who are partying in the speakeasies. Like, since everybody was drinking, how was everybody getting their alcohol?
Yeah, just, you have Joe Schmo, he worked at the factory for 8 hours. How does that person get, booze and stuff?
First off, they didn't work at the factory for only 8 hours, but
Yeah,
So
that's
they
true.
had a lot of. Oh, my bad. I just hit something. Okay. They had a couple different methods. So there were out of country bootleggers having. So, like from Canada and, you know, overseas, sneaking in alcohol in shipments. And that would be kind of like a word of mouth thing. And then we did talk a lot about speakeasies, and you could actually get purchase some alcohol there and take it home with you.
Oh,
Now, I
okay.
mean, that's not every single one was that way, but if they had enough, so if you knew people in the know, you could either bring some home or buy some off of them. And then this is kind of fun. So they would sell things that you could take home, and they called one a grape a grape brick, and you would mix it up with water and you would seal it up, and it would come with a label that said, "Do not leave in a jug for 21 days or it will turn to wine."
Very clever.
Yeah.
That is pretty clever.
So people were hooching it up.
I mean, of course.
There was moonshine, and then stockpiles. And stockpiles were the more well off people who kind of knew it was coming, or, you know, when they're traveling, they sneak in a whole bunch and stockpile the good stuff.
Would this be like persons, or would it be just bars and hotels or whatever that are stockpiling
The upper crust society folks is,
upper crust?
yep, the blue bloods. All right, moving on. This wasn't necessarily a question, but it was something we were talking about when the mouse on your game, his name was Igor.
Igor, yes.
And I was like, isn't that Young Frankenstein? And yeah, Young Frankenstein was a movie in 1974, and that was one of the jokes that Igor pronounced his name Igor.
1974.
And so, yeah, that's why the mouse's name was Igor. And that is all of the questions that I neglected to answer previously. And I think I got them.
And
Is
that's
there?
all we have time for.
No.
Okay, I'm just
Are you
kidding. No,
serious?
I'm just kidding.
You got me.
Just kidding.
Okay. So I can give the rundown
Give us a rundown.
of Elliot Ness. Okay. All right. Should I make it quick? Quick and snappy?
No, you can go at your own pace. I've been doing this part like 10 times because I haven't been able to do it. So, yeah, just go for it.
This is kind of reminding me of Roger Rabbit,
Yes.
like the little broom running around.
Yes. Very much like Roger Rabbit.
Okay. So, Elliot Ness, after the big bust, he didn't have much to do. He did not have much to do after that.
Was he still working as a detective?
He was, but really after that, the only thing he had left to do was try to clean up the force in Chicago.
Like other policemen?
Yeah, and you can imagine how well that went over.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
They probably started getting a little tired of that. Okay, Boy Scout. And not only that, he did incur some envy from some of his peers because, you know, he was taking the spotlight. When he first started out, he didn't 100% understand how to completely make sure that, you know, his higher ups and all the other people got as much credit as possible. At least that's what the book says. So, that he didn't have as many people slapping him on the back and having good wishes for him, you know, politics, as he could have.
Yeah, I can only imagine the lunchrooms, like the cops being like, "Yeah, I gave three 3 speeding tickets today. He's like, well, I caught Al Capone.
Yeah. Yeah, with that attitude. So, not only apparently did he get jealousy from them, but it actually says from J. Edgar Hoover, like
The, really?
the president.
He was jealous of Elliot?
Yeah.
Can we call him Elliot or Mr. Ness?
I think we're on a first name basis at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, well, it makes sense because, one of the most defining things we remember him by his name was Hoovervilles, which is, people completely decimated who didn't have jobs and didn't have their homes. And it was the Great Depression. And
My brain went right to Whoville, so I was very confused at first.
Whoville and Hoovervilles are very different.
Yes, very different.
Very different. So he was not a fan. And that's going to come up in the next point after this one. So,
But why would he? I mean, why would he care? It's someone off the streets that was doing a lot of damage. So
well, just because there was somebody that was getting a lot of praise and attention that even went outside of the United States at a time when, you know, stuff didn't really quite go worldwide unless it was a big deal. And
I mean, especially because this is pre-social media, so this isn't just, oh, I posted something that said I arrested this tycoon. This is just word of mouth to word of mouth to Wall Street Journal. Just
yeah, he was just, he was a guaranteed sell your newspaper. So in December 1933, the Prohibition Act was repealed. And at that point, he really kind of had nothing else to do. I think he was trying to maybe, it was corruption, but I think there was also like gambling and stuff that he was trying to bust up, but nowhere near as lucrative as, the big alcohol busts. So Elliot was dreaming big after this, and he thought, well, I busted Al Capone, like I'm the man. So he wanted to go into the FBI. But guess who had to sign off on that?
Hoover.
Hoover.
Oh, oof.
Yeah. And yeah, he said a lot of unkind things, and he did not let that go through.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
Yep. So in 1934, they just transferred him over to Cleveland and signed him in as safety director.
Safety director.
The safety director.
Sounds like a pay cut to me.
Yep. I believe it was. So from there on out, he tried to be really hands-on when it came to performing his job or being part of these busts. He just tried to be there on the spot. He just, the same way that he had started out, where he didn't want to be the guy at the desk. And that's where we merge, where we get to the point that he's actually about to be assigned to these cases.
So was it the same like district, same office?
No.
Okay.
No. No. No, I think safety director was just basically like, he was just going around to make sure everybody was doing things right.
Beating people with traffic cones.
I don't know. Like the OSHA man.
Ocean Man
You know what I mean?
breaks through a construction site and says, "Oh yeah."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, that's where we are.
And I am dead. That's where I'm at. floating up.
Like Elliot Ness's career.
Yeah, up in flames. So what is next?
Well, what's next is our next victim, and it's a doozy.
A doozy?
It's a doozy.
I think we might have to cut it and do it next time on Button Mash Murders. Anything you want to say to the fine folks on the way out?
No, thank you for joining us, and can't wait to see you again. Bye.
Bye.